Why rejecting overseas legal professionals' legal support is hurting your law firm growth today, tomorrow, and absolutely in the long game.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.
Legal leaders, attorneys, jammed up paralegals, owner operators. I really want you to hear this conversation today. Keep an open mind, an open heart, and a deep curiosity about this conversation. Why rejecting overseas legal professionals' legal support is hurting your law firm growth today, tomorrow, and absolutely in the long game. We're going to hit this today because I am hearing so often, as many of you know, we have full service, Leffy retained search recruiting, our phones ringing off the hook daily in regards to we need help yesterday. And we have been looking and looking and looking, using other legal recruiters, trying to do it on our own and or using other platforms, and nobody's applying for these positions. We can't find good people in regards to getting my attorneys, paralegal support team help. Well, if we're going to continue to sit in that pool of fear and overwhelm and not open our minds to another opportunity, you're going to get crushed in the marketplace, especially in this day and age, especially in the digital age. Your competition will be knocking the snot out of you because they have embraced overseas legal support. You spend so much time in SOPs and processes and workflows and CRMs and what have you, which congratulations. I am over the moon to hear that law firms are now treating their law firms like a business. However, people aren't following the process. We have overdue tasks that when we wake up in the morning, Lawmatic's just whacking everyone in the face with tasks that are, or maybe we can't even get things entered into the system and getting the clients a white glove experience they deserve. The reason your competition is going to knock the snot out of you is because they are embracing overseas support. And this means that their clients are getting over communication. That means that work is being done nights and weekends while y'all are sleeping so you can move process, you can move files, you can move matters faster, which means you ultimately get paid, which means you ultimately deliver on your legal services, which ultimately means that the client experience is top notch, white glove. If you are sitting in a place we can't find people, no one's applying for the jobs, then it is time for you to get highly creative. I said this to a law firm, immigration law firm, yesterday. Like, we've used 3 recruiters, X, Y, and Z. We can't find anyone. But their criteria for looking for this attorney is so high. And when I really broke down every single solitary step of the process and every step that the attorney is doing, they could be outsourced overseas other than going into a courtroom, other than giving legal advice, other than showing up for hearings or what have you. So why not get the freedom for your attorneys and paralegals to manage much of the process, and for you if you're the owner operator, because, and then your client, the expertise, the over communication, the white glove service is going to keep them in your firm, not firing you or leaving, making certain they do their part and show up for the steps of the process because we are over communicating with them in every area. And so I want you to have an open mind for this. One of the main reasons firms are avoiding overseas is overwhelm. It's also the fears of cultural, regulatory differences. However, these professionals bring a wealth of knowledge about international law and practices that can be incredibly valuable, especially for firms with clients that maybe want to expand and even operate globally and offer services in that regard. And I hear all the time about the security breach, about the data breach issues, and language barriers, and all the other types of legal fears that are out there. The risks are quite the same stateside, in house, of counsel, contract, 1099, hybrid, remote employees. So I'm not going to go over the privacy laws and how to ensure this. But if this is a fear of yours, then anyone that you're giving access to your business, marketing agencies, logging into your social platforms, whatever it might be, having your credit card on file to run your Facebook ads, LSAs, Google AdWords, how to ensure this is a safe. You need to make certain that anyone that you're giving access to your client information, your databases, your social channels, whatever it might be, that you have a bigger problem if this is your fear right now. So it's an invitation to get your ducks in a row with every single person, agency, your sister-in-law who's willing to help out and do X, Y, and Z, or your son that's willing to do X, Y, and Z, funding or trust administration from college or living in a different state. If this is your only reason for not strategically exploring how this can and will work, and you're living in this fear of that, then you need to go back to basics and make sure you have your ducks in a row there. So it's an excuse. Other objections I hear: time zones, language barriers. None of it's true. I have many of my law firms that are they're working on US based hours, or they're working at night, or they have a combo. A couple working US hours, a couple working overnight. And guess what? The client experience in getting the matters moving in the work moly. Like now we're talking. We're no longer in a place of overwhelm. I have so many success stories. I have many clients that are doing estate planning and having someone overseas do all their drafting. They're like, I was so fearful in the beginning to do this, but this is single handedly the best employee that I have ever hired, that is handling our funding, our trust administration, our drafting, and for like a fraction of the cost. And I'm not saying this to belittle Filipinos. If any of you know me, my entire recruiting team of Filipinos, they're knocking the socks off of any US based recruiters that I have. They're working nights, they're working weekends, they're working on their hours. Because guess when? A gainfully employed person that may be stressed out, that is not applying for a job, when they're going to respond to a text, to an inbox, to a video that I send to them selling the law firm I'm working with. Yeah, at 10 o'clock at night. Yes, they're going to reply on the weekend or 2 o'clock in the morning when they wake up in a pool of sweat because they don't want to go into their job. But in the US, people are sleeping. They're not online replying and responding immediately, and it's working. So opening your mind about that. I fired my marketing agency that I have for 9 years, and I have an extraordinary. Ria, you're going to listen to this because you're editing it. I love you so much, girl, and I'm so grateful for you. Guess where I got her? Ria's running my entire digital and social marketing. She's doing my podcast editing, my Pocket Coach editing, everything for me. And guess how I found Ria? An estate planning and elder law attorney, one of my best buddies, who sold his law firm and said to me, hey, do you know anyone who would want my Ria that has been drafting my wealth docs, been doing my probate and trust administration for 5 years? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll talk to her. And after 5 minutes in a Zoom room, I'm like, actually, she's also doing his podcast editing, his social media, his digital media, what have you. So if you're riddled in fear about this, I really want to invite you to begin exploring this. And I've been testing this for 2 years now, and it is absolutely working. So whether it's marketing, digital and social, I get rid of my SEO, how much money I was just paying in a monthly agency fee for SEO and website management, gone. Have somebody on my team that 100% has my back and they're monitoring, looking at it every single day. Maybe I have other law firms that do personal injury, criminal defense, immigration, all different areas. No longer. We got demands outsourced. Trial prep, getting everything ready for the binder. How many of you do not have your trial prep folders in order to hear this every single day? Client services, operations manager, hiring people that are CEOs of big companies within their funding, trust administration, Medicaid applications, case managers. Holy moly, billing coordinators. How many of you that are doing billable hour work still are so frustrated with people not entering their time? Billing is a nightmare at the end of the month. We're not tracking it. It's so reactive and it's the biggest headache and heartache. Imagine if you had a case manager, and depending on your caseload or what have you, that could also serve as a billing coordinator or one separate, how your entire practice would change, absolutely change. So if you are struggling with this, struggling with law firm growth, if you're a paralegal attorney that is feeling so crushed right now, or if you see, I hear this all the time when people call me, I got to hire an attorney or a paralegal. I've been looking for 6 months, a year, what have you, with ABC Legal Recruiter. They're not able to place it. That's a whole other reason why maybe they're not doing their job or the work or what have you. But I'm like, your concern right now is not just finding someone, it's to get immediate relief for your team before they absolutely burn out and blow up and possibly are forced to leave, or if God willing, they have a legal recruiter dangling all types of carrots. Oh, we have legal squads, we have a ton of support there, whatever it might be. So it's not only about getting help, it's also retention for your current employees. In this day and age, there is no reason not to have your team's back by outsourcing many of the steps of the process that they can. It's medical records, what have you. You will be absolutely blown away. So, if you've been resistant to this and it piqued your curiosity and your team is crushed right now with work, or you might be having high turnover, or you cannot find legal assistants or paralegals or attorneys, really ask yourself what step of this process absolutely requires an attorney, because you can hire attorneys in the Philippines to serve as paralegals, to serve as legal assistants. You can hire highly qualified, highly trained paralegals. And recently I'd heard from an attorney in the Philippines, like what they have to do to get a law degree there is what I'm hearing from even other attorneys that are hiring. It's harder than it is in the US. So I really want to invite you to reach out to us, book time on our calendar, reply to this pocket coaching. We are staffing legal assistants, paralegals, support team members for law firms across the country very, very successfully. And they're coming into our law firm admin boot camp for 1 year. And we are training them to walk and talk and behave like the best paralegal that you ever had stateside in the US. I'd argue even better. We are training them how to have CEO communication, how to run their day on an EOS framework, to be acting and behaving like entrepreneurs. You will never have delegating backup. You will never have balls dropping ever again. I promise you that. As a culture in the Philippines, talk about integrity. They are conditioned to never disappoint. They are conditioned to keep their words. In fact, I am working with my team and all the other overseas people in law firm admin boot camp on how to say no And I don't mean no from place of I'm not doing this and arrogance and entitlement, but from a place of being able to plan their work and work their plan, to be able to do time chunking and to be able to raise their hand, use their voice when they say, I'm at capacity, but guess what? Then you have them hire their replacement and actually train them. So it takes all that pressure off of you. No more living in fear. The legal landscape has changed forever. Finally embracing automation, CRM, finally embracing hiring overseas, many people in Honduras, Central America, wherever it might be, in the Philippines and what have you. And if you do not have a team that is set up, legal support team, legal assistant, marketing team, intake, sales team, what have you, set up with overseas support staff, then you're going to get crushed in the legal space. And they are able to run circles around your client services, around your client response, around moving matters forward, around making certain we do not miss anything. The precision within how we do what we do versus being stressed out and trying to do what we can to get the matter moving forward. You're leaving money on the table, and your stress and health is at risk, and your teens as well. And if you heard me say it once, you've heard me say it a million times. Money is energy, and people can smell stress and overwhelm and burnout a mile away, whether it's a prospective new employee, whether it's prospective new client, referral source, what have you. You're not hiding it. And so now is the time to get the energetic, financial, entrepreneurial, visionary freedom for all of you in your firm. And it starts at the top with the decision making attorney. So reach out. Let's explore where the bottlenecks are, where the stress is, where the overwhelm is, and let's identify and have fun and try it on. Try it once. I promise you will never go back. And let us support you and have your back every step of the way. All right. Until next time. If you are not a legal leader leading legal leaders, because you ain't got no time or space or grace in your world, it's time to conduct a stop restart. We're at the halfway mark of the year in 2024. Let's finish it strong. So, and let's set up 2025 now and start testing, gamification, having fun with this, and really exploring what parts of the process that we can outsource and start to see how this can really transform our practice and really play heavily into our law firm growth.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.